Right now, you're watching Wave 3 News.
Thanks for joining us for Wave 3 News Midday. I'm Jobina Fortson. Big back-to-school day for students in New Albany and Floyd County. Some students we met this morning were pumped for class.
Justify has done it!
And done it for the last time. Justify capturing the Triple Crown this year and has now retired from racing. He'll end his career as an undefeated 3-year-old. Justify had some filling. Does the nation's top diplomat have any idea what President Trump promised behind closed doors with Russia's leader? And will President Trump's new trade deal help farmers or raise the price of your next car? Tracy Potts is breaking down these important questions for us from Washington this morning. We're learning about an explosion outside the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. The U.S. State Department confirming that there was, in fact, an explosion this morning. A 3-month-old has died after being left in a hot car in New Albany. Aaron Turner says his son was with his mother. Facebook's investors don't like what happened Wednesday on Wall Street. The social network stock fell about. There's a growing backlash against plastic straws, and it's the final straw for many cities and businesses implementing bans against the single-use tubes. The goal is to cut down on plastic waste to help the environment, but it can make life much more complicated for some groups of people who rely on them.
That's more right now. You're watching Wave 3 News.
Thanks for staying with us on Wave 3 News Midday. I'm Jobina Fortson. New on Midday, Occupy ICE protesters have returned to Louisville after leaving their downtown camp last week. This morning, protesters inside the lobby of the Hayburn building, which houses the Louisville Immigration Court. That's where we continue our team coverage. Mike Fussell is there with the very latest information. Mike, has there been any sort of movement out there? We have it sitting on the counter, this midday flyers showing up at some East Louisville homes, pushing for a state takeover of JCPS.
It is singles night at the Slugger Field for tonight.
I thought you were asking for a date before you were asking for a date.
I was just announcing.
A dump truck, street sweeper, and dozens of officers filled 7th Street this morning, cracking down on the Occupy ICE protesters who'd been camped out there for more than 2 weeks. Police say they weren't in compliance, and Wave 3 News reporter Caitlin Less is there now live. And Caitlin, can you explain a little bit of what everything is looking like there right now? A major transformation near one of the busiest intersections in town, and now we're getting a sneak peek at what it's going to look like. We're talking about apartments. Welcome back. The battle lines are being drawn in the fight over the next Supreme Court nominee. Both Republicans and Democrats have a lot at stake here. The next justice will be able to shift the balance of the court for decades to come. NBC's Susan McGinnis has the latest from Washington. In consumer headlines, this viral photo shows Toys R Us mascot Jeffrey packing up his suitcase. He's getting ready to leave his toy kingdom behind for good. A video of a brazen burglary leads police to 2 people who appear to have been very busy. In a story you'll only find here on Wave 3 News, you see a couple approach a small garage window, run away, then come back to the house just behind Jefferson Mall. A University of Alabama swimmer is blowing Michael Phelps's angry game face out the water. Christian Stryker, aka Swim Yonsen. Look at that. We're getting some new images out of Hawaii. Look at that. This is a live look nearly 3 weeks after a volcanic eruption. Welcome back to Wave 3 News Midday. I'm Jobina Fortson. In just a few moments, we are expecting a live report from NBC News. President Donald Trump is slated to speak about the cancellation of the North Korean summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. When we get that, we will bring it to you live. 4 people are still missing after a duck boat capsized in a Missouri lake near Branson. 13 bodies have been recovered so far. President Trump has made another stunning reversal from what he said Monday with President Vladimir Putin, and he's inviting Putin to Washington during the fall election. Tracy Potts has the latest developments on Capitol Hill. People in Iowa will be spending the next day cleaning up after multiple tornadoes were reported in the center of the state. The storm system generated at least 24 possible tornadoes. There's new evidence linking too much time in front of screens to ADHD in teens, raising questions for many parents about how to manage a child's screen time. If you struggle to track what your kids are doing online, or if it seems hard to enforce rules and limits, you'll definitely want to hear the story. New accusations are beginning to be made against Papa John's founder, John Schnatter. Yesterday, Forbes revealed that 37 current and former employees are claiming Schnatter created a toxic culture. Well, even if you're not into romance, this next story is going to get you in the feels.
News.
Thanks for joining us for Wave 3 News Midday. I'm Jobina Fortson. We're just going to call this Big Hair Wednesday, why don't we? Meteorologist Brian Good is here with us because the humidity, Brian. We can't escape it. My hair's hitting the roof of the car when I get in the morning.
I know it was Big Hair Wednesday. I missed that on my calendar. I mean, what do you get somebody for that? Is there like a Hallmark card?
I'm going to go with extra rollers.
Extra rollers. You're right.
NBC's spoof of crime documentaries, Trial and Error Lady Killer, comes to Wave 3 and NBC on Thursday night. This season, the defendant is flamboyant and the eccentric Lavinia Peck Foster. She's accused of murdering her husband. Lavinia is portrayed by the fabulous Kristen Chenoweth, who joins us now live. Welcome and thanks so much for joining us, Kristen. Oh, well, I was checking out the Hollywood Reporter this morning, and Trial and Error Lady Killer was the first show listed on their article of must-sees for this week. With your new character on this season, what can people expect from Lavinia? I was laughing when I was just watching the trailer there. You see her do some crazy stuff. She's snapping pics with the jurors. I mean, she really keeps you on your feet. Well, I can't wait to see it. For you, are there any mysteries you haven't been able to do yet or have planned, something you just really want to show people? Cool. Well, I'll make sure to send you some ideas, okay? I'll get your email after.
Great. I'm open. I'm open. Thank you so much.
A K-9 officer helped LMPD uncover 14 pounds of crystal meth hidden in a dashboard. These teachers say they're not giving up despite the pension bill being signed and that they're fighting for the funding of public education. Now, this is a look at Bardstown Road this morning. JCTMS teachers and their supporters rallying there. Later in the morning at Hartstern Elementary School, teachers welcoming their students with signs and chants, and a very large group at Male High School this morning marching into the building.